Yes guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Coach Indy here. Today's all about reviewing game week 30 where there's only 4 fixtures, and obviously you'd think there's not much to talk about. However, there was plenty of talking points, controversy, absentees, all that good stuff and more. So we'll dive into that. Then we'll move on to FPL.Team where we'll have a little bit of a live tinker ahead of game week 31. Maybe have a look at my early thoughts in terms of transfers. And then maybe go into game week 32 as well, a bit of a live tinker there. Remember, my plan is, and I explained this in the last video, I'm looking to free hit in 33, wildcard in 34, bench boost in 36. However, if my team is set up quite nicely ahead of game week 33, where I have plenty of doubles and the team set up quite nicely, I might not use the free hit there. I might use it in another week as well. So that's kind of my early thoughts. Without further ado, let's just jump into today's video. This was my game week 30 review. Now, before I made any transfers, I was sitting on 7 players. I was okay with 7 players. It's just the personnel I wasn't completely happy with. And I had Son, and I really wanted Harry Kane. Now, obviously, we know Son scored a brace, and he's got 30 points if you had him as captain, 15 if you didn't have him as captain, and Kane scored 13 or 26 if you had him as captain. So, in this week here, I kind of missed out, but in long term, I did want Harry Kane. So I'm pleased I made the transfer, but obviously, in the moment, when you're seeing your rank sort of fluctuate a little bit, you're kind of a little bit annoyed. So I was frustrated, especially Son scoring the second one late on. Granted, it was a Kane assist, but still, it was frustrating. However, as the international break sort of goes on and we head into sort of game week 31, or we approach game week 31, I think I'll be more pleased with the fact that I wanted Harry Kane, and I'm happy I got him long term. So the 2 transfers I made a -4. I took out Dennis for Kane, which was a big upgrade. I took out Jared Bowen and brought in Ramsey. I thought Ramsey, at least he's going to be playing this week. Potentially he's going to miss out on 33, which he does do now because of FA Cup games. But I'm happy to have him as sort of, as a sub in terms of my 5th midfielder. So I took the chance there. Thought maybe there was an outside chance he could pick up some returns as well. So running through the team, had no goalkeeper. Now what I will say is actually my early thoughts going to 30 was bringing in Schmeichel for De Gea, but I decided not to go for it. I felt like maybe Brentford would score, and that kind of ended up being the case in this game week. However, the reason why I was going to go for Schmeichel was the potential, very unlikely the clean sheet in 30, but it's the fact that he'd have a double in 33. That was kind of the thinking behind it. However, I didn't go for it, and obviously explain what I did do. So no goalkeeper. Ben White picked up 7, which felt like a massive win, even with the extra bonus point as well. If players, Ramsdale missing out. Okay, some people would have had Tierney, which is fine. So yeah, extra point there in terms of the bonus. So really pleased with that 7. It felt like a brace almost, if you like. Doherty 2 points. Okay, everyone had Doherty, so it didn't matter if he scored a hat trick or he had nothing at all because everyone kind of had him. Trent obviously no game. Cancelo no game. Saiss 1. That was a Friday night game against Leeds. Leeds obviously turned that around, winning 3-2. Jimenez getting sent off, which we'll talk about. And now obviously he had the -2. People had him as captain as well, -4. People would have been absolutely devastated by that. Saiss picked up 1. I never thought there was necessarily going to be a clean sheet in there for Wolves. Over the last half dozen games or so, I didn't feel like the team structure and the cohesion in terms of defensive units and distances between that hasn't been quite right. So that's why I didn't kind of double up. However, I did think, excuse me, that maybe Saiss would pick up an attacking return. That was kind of why I had him when I did bring him in, and thinking that potential could happen in game week 30 as well. Kulusevski didn't pick up anything. He did play quite well in my opinion as well, though, in this game, so nothing to worry about there if you're looking to keep him long term. Saka, the Arsenal won 1-0 in their game, picked up the goal, picked up the bonus point, midfield clean sheet point as well. Again, felt like a massive win. However, I will say I feel like a lot of the community did have Saka as well. It's whether you had Martinelli, who incidentally was ill. Obviously, we know about Ramsdale and hip injury. So yeah, there's players that kind of missed out for Arsenal, and quite a few managers were rather annoyed, shall we put it that way. Ramsey obviously picked up 1 point, picked up a yellow card, disappointed by that. I was only hoping for 2 points as a max, really. I mean, obviously I was hoping for more, but 2 was probably more realistic. He only got the 1, which is frustrating. Antonio was the one that was annoyed by as well a little bit, because again, I didn't necessarily think he would pick up any attacking returns. I was kind of in the back of my mind thinking it's a differential. Not many players are going to have not many managers are going to have West Ham players, especially attacking players. So if you can do anything, that's going to be a massive sort of green arrow for me. but it turns out he played less than 60 minutes and he picked up 1 point. And then obviously Harry Kane, triple assists, and he got some bonus as well. Captain, 26 points, happy days. So that, I scored 51 points, which was a 47 with a -4. Overall points is 2,074. Really happy with that. Overall rank is dropped by sort of 1.6k, 1.7k ish. So I was at 4,479. I'm now 6,176 now. Again, 2 weeks ago, I did have that monster haul with Havertz as captain, and there was so many people that hauled, and I went from 12k to 2k, massive green arrow. The last couple of weeks have been sort of 2k and then 1.5k if you like, and I've dropped down a little bit. However, I remember I've got 3 chips. I'm really happy with my position. Squad value is 104.7. So in decent shape there. I've got some value in like Cancelo, Trent, etc. I did actually have some value in Dennis, so my team value was a little bit higher than that, but Dennis is Dennis. It is what it is. Didn't necessarily want him going forward, and we kind of held him because of Watford's doubles over the last sort of 10 game weeks, if you like. And I made 37 transfers at this stage of the season as well. Going to move on to FPL.Team and have a bit of a live tinker next. Okay, so we moved over to the FPL.Team website, guys. I can't emphasize this enough, where this website is fantastic, where you can sort of see, visualize, pencil in, predict certain transfers that you want to kind of make and target certain players, certain teams, etc. Some people like to plan maybe 1 or 2 game weeks in advance. Some people like to think maybe 4, 6, 8, 10 game weeks in advance, maybe where there's sort of fixture changes and that kind of thing as well. Obviously, at this stage of the season, where there's going to be lots of doubles penciled in, with obviously cancellations earlier in the season, really vitally important to sort of make sure you cherish each of those transfers, because they're vitally important, particularly if you haven't got a wild card and particularly if you haven't got a free hit as well. My situation, obviously, I've got a couple of chips as well, so it does help me in terms of a bit of flexibility, but still I've been using it all season, or most of the season. It's a really good website. So that's FPL.Team. Going to move on to my team. So a few players I'm going to bring into the team. So Vegas has got a double, obviously playing Everton in this double game week, so he's going to come in for Antonio. Foden will absolutely come in probably for Ramsey, and Salah will come in for Saiss. And then probably Salah will definitely be my captain. So let's make him captain. Now, straight away, Chelsea have obviously got fantastic fixtures. I haven't got any Chelsea players. I've got 0.4 million in the bank, so I'm thinking straight away I need to bring in Reece James at all costs. So straight away, I'm just going to assume that Trent's going to be fit after the international break. So we'll leave Trent in there for now. I'm thinking about taking Saiss. Now, remember, after the FA Cup games yesterday, Wolves, Leeds and Aston Villa do all blank in game week 33. And obviously I've got 2 of those players at the moment. So Saiss, I think I'm just going to take him out now and then bring in Jamo. So Jamo's going to come in. I'm now 0.8 million in the deficit. So I need to make another transfer. So the other transfer I'm thinking about doing is taking out Antonio, which I've been thinking about for forever, for the last probably 10 game weeks and beyond. And then thinking about bringing in Chris Wood. Now, I've had a look. Obviously, they have a double in game week 33. So I'm kind of planning ahead for that. I don't have to play Chris Wood in this fixture. I'll probably move him as first sub, though. And then I'll probably take out Doherty. I'll probably take out Ben White, actually. Just because of Doherty's attacking potential, and that's kind of how the team will line up. It's okay, so -4, 0 money in the bank, and I've got to hope that there are no sort of price rises and changes, etc. over the international break, which I don't know if it will happen or won't not. I don't know. Things might force my hand a little bit, so that's kind of my early thought. Moving ahead to game week 32 team, I might end up playing Chris Wood ahead of maybe Doherty this time round. Obviously, you've got the Man City and Liverpool game, so I'll just play all them players. I think you've got to. And maybe Ben White maybe come in for someone as well. I kind of want to play Weghorst against Norwich. It's a big game for both teams, really. So that's kind of how the team will set up. I'll probably put Harry Kane as captain, so just make him as captain, just so you can visualise that. Or I could put it as JMO as well. It just depends how I'm feeling. It does depend on like the amount of minutes he plays. In game week 30, for example, they've obviously got the Champions League, etc. as well. So, if his load is high in terms of James, obviously, then I won't play him. Harry Kane, obviously, in no other competition, so he's a very, very safe bet in terms of captaincy. Obviously, he's still got to navigate through the international break. And then moving ahead to game week 33, I'll have 2 free transfers. Obviously, now we know there is plenty of doubles. I'll just scroll down so you guys can see that. So you've got, Burnley, Southampton, Brighton, Leicester, Arsenal in terms of the doubles, and Manchester United as well. So what I'm thinking about doing straight away, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 double game week players. I've also got Ben White as well. So Ben White will actually come in straight away for Cooley. It's a reluctant one, but that's what I'm thinking. And then in terms of transfer to be made, what I'm thinking about doing is taking out Kulu and bringing in possibly Barnes for Leicester. Obviously we've got a double, so let's just bring him in. I'm 0.4 million out, so then I'm gonna have to make another transfer, which was, I'm happy to do. Happy to do. So Doty will come out, and what I'm thinking about doing is bringing in, and it does depend on how his minutes are sort of managed over the next few weeks, going into sort of game week 33. Well, I can afford to bring Wesley Fofana. So that means I've got another 2 double game week players. So if I do bring them in, it's hard to sort of take players out, but I'll probably end up taking out Trent because they've got Man United, and I'll probably take out Cancelo. Cancelo or James. Let's just say I'll take out James actually for Fofana. And it's horrible to have those players on the bench, by the way. James on the bench and Trent. So it's not guaranteed I'm going to do this. It's just early thoughts. Excuse me, but it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double game week players. Okay, it's not the perfect double game week players, but it gives me 7. I think unless you're on a free hit on a wild card, you're probably not going to have much more than 7 double game week players anyway, given the fact there's going to be other doubles announced, so people are trying to navigate their way through to those as well. So obviously if you're on a free hit and a wild card, you're probably going to have 8, 9, 10, 11 players potentially. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It gives me 0.1 million in the bank. It's no hit, obviously. There was a hit in game week 30. So that's kind of what I'm thinking ahead of game week sort of 31, 32 if you like. There you have it, guys. That is game week 30 review in the bag. We also moved ahead to FPL.Team where we did a little bit of a live tinker, kind of visualise what my team could look like ahead of game week 31, 32 and 33. If you like this type of video, please do drop it a like. It does help with reaching more people. The more likes you get, it helps with the YouTube algorithm, all that kind of good stuff. Also, just drop it in the comments below. What's your overall rank? What's your target rank? What chips you have available? And what chip strategy are you currently on at the moment? Now, obviously, I appreciate everyone's a little bit different at the moment, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. I'll get back to as many people as possible. And finally, guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, please do so. It does help in terms of the growth of the channel. Click the notification bell as well, because obviously you'll be notified every time there's a video uploaded to our channel. We try and post twice a week if we can. It's not just FPL content on the channel. It's a very much a football related channel. So there's predicting player future moves, there's compilations, there's mashups, there's coaching sessions, etc. That's kind of what the channel's about, all about football related content. So please do so. Going to leave it there. I'll see everyone after the international break where we can attack the rest of the season.